Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to embark on this honestly incredible journey from your everyday habits down to the microscopic biology that is literally keeping you alive right now. You know, every single time you take a sip of water or break a sweat, there's a highly sophisticated, completely invisible rescue mission running in the background to keep you in perfect balance. So today, we are unpacking body fluid homeostasis, and specifically the unsung hero of this whole operation, the kidney.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, an introduction to fluid homeostasis. Second, the daily water equation. Third, hypovolemia and what happens when that balance fails. Fourth, the kidney's pressure sensors. And finally, hormones, aquaporins, and hydration. Let's get to it.
Section 1. Introduction to Fluid Homeostasis, the Basics of Balance.
So homeostasis, it's essentially the ultimate life maintenance system. It's your body's relentless drive to maintain a stable internal environment, completely regardless of the chaos happening outside. And when it comes to your body, water is absolutely the most abundant compound we have to manage. Think about this for a second. In a standard 70-kilogram human, total body water is around 42 liters. That is roughly 60% of your entire body weight. But it's not just sloshing around randomly inside you. It is strictly partitioned. A massive 2/3 of that water is intracellular fluid, meaning it's hiding entirely out of sight, locked away inside your cells. The remaining 1/3, that's your extracellular fluid, which includes your blood plasma and the fluid floating between your cells. Your body is fiercely protective of exactly how this water is distributed.
Because the crucial point here is that body fluid homeostasis isn't just about, avoiding a dry mouth. The body actually has 4 critical, absolutely non-negotiable aims it must maintain to keep you functioning. It has to regulate your overall blood volume. It has to maintain your blood pressure so oxygen actually makes it up to your brain. It has to monitor tonicity, which is the concentration of solutes. And finally, it tightly controls the exact chemical composition of your plasma and interstitial fluid. If literally any of these drift too far out of their normal range, biological alarms start going off.
Section 2. The daily water equation. Balancing the books. To actually achieve those non-negotiable aims, your body acts like a master accountant. And 2,500 milliliters, well, that is the magic number. Every single day, on average, exactly 2,500 milliliters of water moves into your system, and exactly 2,500 milliliters has to move out to maintain perfect homeostasis.
Now, let's look at how this daily budget actually breaks down. On the intake side, you drink about 1,200 mils, you get another 1,000 mils from the food you eat, and, this is kind of wild, your metabolism actually produces 300 mils just from breaking down that food. Total, 2,500. Now on the output side, you lose about 1,500 mils in urine, 100 mils in sweat, and 200 in feces. But the really interesting part is the insensible loss. 700 milliliters. Literally just by breathing and existing, water vapor is constantly escaping your body. And this budget must balance perfectly every single day.
Section 3. Hypovolemia. When the balance fails.
So, what happens when you lose too much fluid and that intricate accounting trick fails? Well, we enter a biological crisis called hypovolemia. It literally translates to low volume. If we revise the clinical signs of this state, you'll see a plummeting blood pressure, a dangerous drop in your extracellular fluid, and intense thirst as your body desperately tries to claw back its volume. And crucially, your kidneys are hit with renal hyperperfusion, meaning they are suddenly starved of vital blood flow. And you can see just how fiercely the body reacts to that crisis. When your blood volume and pressure are totally normal, the hormone vasopressin is just ticking along at a nice low basal level. But the second your blood pressure and volume drop by 10, 20, 30%, vasopressin doesn't just gradually rise. It absolutely skyrockets exponentially. It's basically an emergency flare going up in your bloodstream, screaming at the body to conserve water right now.
Section 4. The kidney's pressure sensors. Meet the microscopic heroes.
Okay, so how does the body actually detect that volume dropping in the first place? For that, we have to zoom way in. From the macro level of the whole body, straight down to the microscopic hero of our story, the juxtaglomerular apparatus, or JGA for short. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, I know. But this is a highly specialized cluster of cells hidden deep inside your kidneys. Think of it as a microscopic, ultra-sensitive pressure gauge and chemical testing lab, all wrapped into one.
Right where the blood flows into the kidney's filtration system, the renal corpuscle, the JGA is hugging right up against the incoming arteriole. It's made up of the macula densa and the granular cells, and they are positioned perfectly to constantly, relentlessly monitor two things: the physical blood pressure stretching those vessel walls and the exact concentration of sodium flowing through the tubules. They are the ultimate security guards for your blood volume.
Let's walk through how this builds into an incredible chemical cascade. Step 1. Those JGA sensors detect a fall in blood pressure and a drop in tubular sodium, usually aided by sympathetic nerves firing in an absolute panic. Step 2. The granular cells instantly release an enzyme called renin into your blood. Step 3. Renin acts like the first domino, causing the conversion of angiotensin I into the incredibly powerful angiotensin II. Step 4, angiotensin II hits your system hard. It causes vasoconstriction to squeeze your blood vessels and immediately prop up your blood pressure. It triggers the release of aldosterone to aggressively retain salt and water, and it sparks intense thirst. The rescue mission is now fully deployed.
Section 5. Hormones, aquaporins, and hydration. The grand finale. We've seen the alarm sound. We've watched the chemical cascade. Now for the actual physical grand rescue. Remember that vasopressin flare that shot up earlier? Vasopressin acts as the final messenger. It travels straight to the collecting tubules in your kidney and gives a direct command: deploy the aquaporins. These are literally tiny water doors that insert themselves right into the cell membrane. So instead of letting H2O escape out into the body to become urine, these aquaporins aggressively pull the water straight back across the membrane and into your capillaries. The water is rescued, it's pulled back into the blood, and your blood pressure and volume are successfully conserved.
It is just an absolutely relentless cycle of monitoring, calculating, and rescuing that never stops. Which leaves us with one final thought. Consider that 2,500 milliliter equation we looked at earlier. How are your daily habits testing your kidney's microscopic pressure sensors right now? Are your granular cells furiously pumping out renin while you sit there dehydrated, or are you actually helping them balance the books? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and honestly, I highly recommend you go grab a tall glass of water right now. Your kidneys will definitely thank you.